The scandal that rocked the White House. Former President Donald Trump faces indictment in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Allegations of falsified records and campaign finance violations have led to historic criminal charges, marking a first for a former U.S. president. Trump's legal team claims political persecution, but prosecutors argue he knowingly broke the law to conceal an extramarital affair. We'll delve into the details, explore the implications, and examine what this means for Trump's future, his legacy, and the nation's political landscape. Good evening, and welcome to our breaking news segment. Tonight, we're following a developing story involving former President Donald Trump and adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Let's take a closer look at the events that led to today's indictment. It all started in 2016, just before the presidential election. Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 in exchange for her silence about an alleged affair with Trump in 2006. The payment was made to avoid any negative impact on Trump's campaign. At the time, Trump was facing intense scrutiny over his treatment of women, and the Daniels story had the potential to damage his reputation further. Trump's campaign was already embroiled in controversy, with the release of the Access Hollywood tape and numerous allegations of sexual misconduct. The Daniels story threatened to add fuel to the fire, and Cohen acted quickly to contain the damage. Cohen, a longtime fixer for Trump, arranged the payment through a shell company, Essential Consultants LLC. He later admitted to making the payment, but claimed it was his own decision and not at Trump's direction. Stormy Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, was a rising star in the adult film industry at the time. She had been approached by media outlets with offers to tell her story, but ultimately accepted the payment and signed a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, to remain silent. In 2018, Stormy Daniels sued Trump for defamation and breach of contract, claiming the NDA was invalid because Trump never signed it. Trump's lawyers argued that the NDA was valid and that Daniels had violated it by speaking publicly about the alleged affair. Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti, argued that the NDA was a clear attempt to silence Daniels and protect Trump's reputation. Avenatti, a high-profile lawyer, took on the case pro bono and became a vocal critic of Trump. He argued that the NDA was a form of prior restraint, violating Daniels' First Amendment rights. In 2019, Trump's lawyers agreed to rescind the NDA and pay Daniels $161,000 in legal fees. This move was seen as a significant development, as it acknowledged the payment and raised questions about Trump's involvement. Trump's lawyers claimed that the payment was made to protect Trump's reputation, but not as a campaign finance violation. Separately, Michael Cohen pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations related to the payment and served time in prison. Cohen implicated Trump in his guilty plea, stating that he made the payment at Trump's direction. This admission raised serious questions about Trump's knowledge and involvement in the payment. Cohen's testimony before Congress was explosive, with him stating that Trump had directed him to make the payment, and that Trump knew about the payment at the time. Cohen also produced a recording of Trump discussing the payment, which further implicated the former president. Fast forward to 2023, and a grand jury in New York has indicted Trump on charges related to the hush money payment. The indictment includes charges of falsifying business records and violating campaign finance laws. Trump faces up to 4 years in prison if convicted. The latest on this developing story? To keep the loyalty and to do the things that he had asked me to do, I violated my moral compass, and I suffered the penalty, as has my family. Cohen testified Tuesday 14th. But defense attorneys sought to portray Cohen as motivated by vengeance on his former boss, confronting him on the witness stand with his own profane social media about Trump and wanting to see the former president in handcuffs. The most stunning moment came outside the courtroom Tuesday 14th, when House Speaker Mike Johnson showed up with Trump, who used his powerful bully pulpit to turn his political party against the rule of law by declaring the trial illegitimate. He and other GOP lawmakers are serving as surrogates while Trump himself remains barred by a gag order in the case following an appeals court ruling Tuesday 14th. I do have a lot of surrogates, and they're speaking very beautifully. Trump said before court as the group gathered in the background. And they come from all over Washington. And they're highly respected, and they think this is the greatest scam they've ever seen. The Republican presidential nominee has pleaded not guilty and denies that any of the encounters took place. As prosecutors laid out their case, Cohen testified about purposefully mislabeled checks, false receipts, and blind loyalty that placed Trump at the center of the scheme. The testimony, somewhat dry for a man who was defined for years by his braggadocio as Trump's problem zapper, underscored the prosecution's foundational argument that the case isn't about the spectacle of what Trump was paying for, but rather his effort to illegally cover up those payments. Cohen has testified in detail about how the former president was linked to all aspects of the hush money scheme, and prosecutors believe Cohen's testimony is critical to their case. But their reliance on a witness with such a checkered past, he was disbarred, went to prison, and separately pleaded guilty to lying about a Moscow real estate project on Trump's behalf could backfire, especially as Trump's attorneys continue to cross-examine him. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe and like our video. We'll see you in the next video.